Hey guys, Scott Zarek here, and today we're going to discuss the functionality of the RS10 in conjunction with the Custom Audio Electronics 4x4 audio controller and the TC Electronic GForce. So let's take a minute and talk about the board. The way the board comes stock is switch 0 and switch 1 transmit MIDI information on 15 and control change 9 and 10. Switches 2, 3, 4, and 5 are for your loops, and they transmit on MIDI channel 15 and are control change 11, 12, 13, 14. Switches 6, 7, 8, and 9 are for control changes, and they work on control change number 15, 16, 17, 18, all of which are MIDI channel 15. So all of these switches function and transmit data on MIDI channel 15. At the bottom here, we've got our 5 programs, our presets, and so let's talk about how to get these two units talking together. If we go over to input output setup on the GForce, we get our little screen here, and let's just try to see if we can get that to focus a bit better. There we go. I'm going to use the right arrow and I'm going to go over to control. Okay? And I want to go down and I want to make sure that the model is set for CAE RS10. And that's really important. What that does is that allows the two units, the RS10 and the TC GForce, to talk together and have the correct mapping. Alright? If I scroll down a little bit further, this is where we get into the good stuff. Okay, so the first sub-menu here is going to be GForce Control. And I'm using the tuner on MIDI channel 15, control 9, and tap tempo, MIDI channel 15, control 10. And that's these two on the RS10. So the big question is, how do I tell the GForce that I want this button here, switch 0, to be tuner and switch 1 to be tap tempo? Well, I can go in manually on the RS10 and I can change that. So I can go, MIDI channel 15, and I can go over one more and make sure that it's control number 9. Okay, and the same thing down here at the bottom. So if I go down to tempo, MIDI channel 15, control 10, we're good to go. But what if maybe you just don't understand that? Well, there's a really great learn feature in the TC Electronic GForce, and all you have to do is over here on the right, hit enter, alright, and it's going to go into learning mode. So you'll see tempo learning. Down here, I hit tap tempo, and voila. MIDI channel basic. It's defaulted it to channel 15. More importantly, control change 10. Okay. You can do the same thing with main volume and bypass. You can assign any those two features to any of the control change functions on the RS10. Okay. Okay. So back to the GForce, and let's talk about modifier input. So on the back of the RS10, and I'll see if I can prop this up a little bit, we've got P1 and P2. Both of these transmit data on MIDI channel 1, control change 1, and control change 4. Okay. So what I'm using is I'm using P1 into my volume pedal here, and using it mostly for delay level, but I can change that to be anything I want on any preset. And you do the same thing. I mean, I know that it's MIDI channel 1, and I just have to make sure that it's on control number 1. But once again, if you're unsure, hit enter. It'll go into learning mode. Just move the pedal, and it will detect it for you, and you're good to go. Okay? And what's really cool and powerful about the GForce is that you can run up to 8 external modifiers. So you could run 8 volume pedals to control in real time 8 parameters on the GForce. That's pretty cool stuff. If we keep zipping down, yep, here we go. Effect bypass. And what's really great about the GForce is it allows you to use your effects kind of like old school pedals. So if I create a preset, I'll go to my lead channel here. On the lead channel, I know that I'm using pitch, delay, chorus, reverb, and gate. The pitch isn't on right now because I haven't turned it on the board. But one of the things that I like to do with my presets is, you know, when I create a master preset, is I can turn certain effects on and off on the board. So what I've done on this, on my board, is, let's just zoom in here a little bit better. There we go. Okay. So switch 5 turns the delay block on and off on the GForce. Switch 6 is pitch. Switch 7 is chorus. And I know that that's going to be control change 14, 15, and 16. So what I have to do in the menu for the effect bypass is make sure that those 3 effects are communicating on the correct channel. So let's get that to focus a bit better. There we go. And so let's say you could manually go over, and we know that it's on MIDI channel 15, and pitch is going to be control change 15, so we've got it set up for that, but you know, if you want to change it, you can. Delay, MIDI channel 15, control 14, chorus, MIDI channel 15, control 16. But these are all your effects blocks right here that you can control on and off via control changes. So it allows you once again to use the GForce as kind of like having pedals, so you don't have to have all your effects on and off at once. Fractal axe effects, they kind of call that as like, you look at it as like you can have scenes. So pretty advanced stuff for a unit that came out back in 1997, 98. So oh yeah, one more thing. Let's say, you know, if you weren't really understanding the mapping, you could just hit enter on the right. So let's say if I want to assign on the RS10, you know, a control change button, a switch for chorus, I would hit enter. It goes into learning mode. I would go down here and chorus. Let's focus in a bit more. Hit that button, and bing, it's got it. So right here. So let me give you an example of how I would use, let's say, my favorite preset of all is lead. And we can see that we've got the 4 blocks, pitch, delay, chorus, and reverb on. But over here on the right, the pitch isn't illuminated. But when I press the switch on the RS10, there it is. So I find that when I go into the lead channel that I really like the sound of the combination of delay, chorus, and reverb. But there might be the odd occasion where I want to turn the chorus on and off. Or I want to turn the delay off just because I don't want the echoes interfering with a certain fast passage or something. And pitch on and off, whatever. Whatever I select on these 2, I can just store it. So now if I go out of, you can see those came on. So if I switch to a different preset, actually I'll turn that on too, to show you. When I come back to it, there's our, there we go. Or I can take them off, hit store, switch to a different preset, and come back to it, and only the reverb's on. So I tend to use reverb for everything. Okay, so that's it for today. That's how to get the RS10 and the GForce talking to one another and to start mapping out presets and basic functionality. If you have any other questions, let me know and we'll get you rocking. Take care.